Hey everybody, it's Jackie Jing, and I just saw Alita Battle Angel for the second time, and I was like, you know what, I should probably do another video following up and just kind of talking about what I liked, what I didn't like. Overall, I mean, you saw my original video, huge fan, absolutely love this movie. I thought that it was non-stop. The flow of the movie was awesome. The pacing was like the whole time. I like really love that. Visually, it's like out of control. I mean, this is a James Cameron, Robert Rodriguez movie. They're using top of the line technology, and I think I said this in my other video, but your ticket price, like visually, this movie, like you get your money's worth, like 100%. Rosa Salazar, her acting is like absolutely out of control. Motorball, like insanely awesome. The cyborgs are super cool. They're like, there's ones that are like super massive. There's ones like with tons of arms. So, okay, you've heard about all the things I like. Also, I loved the Hellhounds. Okay. I forgot to say this. Spoiler alert, okay? Because I'm going to be getting into some spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the movie, then do not watch this. If you have seen the movie, then take a listen, because now I'm going to get into it. Now I'm going to talk about what I liked and what I didn't like. Okay, so I did like what they took from the anime and the manga and how they kind of like combined it all together. I thought that it was like kind of interesting that, you know, in the anime, her name's Gally. They went with Alita here. In the manga, the like city in the sky is called Teferis. In the anime, it is called Zalem, and so they decided to go with the anime there. So he kind of like picked and chose things that I thought was really cool. I thought he did a much better job with developing Ito's sadness. You know, talking like he has a daughter, he lost his daughter, he lost his wife or partner, Shirin, and I thought that they did a better job with Shirin. You know, in the anime, like one thing I actually like love about her is just like how determined she is. Like this woman knows what she wants and she goes after it hardcore. And in this movie, she's the same way. But obviously, like in the anime and in the manga, well, no, she wasn't in the manga. In the anime, she was like, okay, like I'm leaving to Vector. And then Vector's like, do you want to go to Zalem? And she's like, yeah, you know? And in the movie, she was like, you know, I forgot who I was. Like, I'm a doctor, but like I'm a mother. And then he's like, it's time for you to go to Zalem. And then she was like, nah, you know what? Like everything I want is here. And I was just kind of like, that was really cool. But I don't know, like that was like the like Shirin's shining moment in the movie for me. Otherwise, there was, I don't know, I just felt like they could have done more with her. And it really kind of like bothered me that she came out of nowhere in that scene with Hugo and Alita, when Hugo is like stabbed by Zapan. I was just kind of like, I felt like, I guess she kind of just appeared out of nowhere in the anime as well. But for some reason in the movie, it just like was kind of like, what? Shirin, like, how'd she get here? Like, I'm confused. That scene also really bothered me because, okay, like, Zapan, like, comes out with, like, his dudes and, like, those big giant machines. I forgot the name of them, but you know what I'm talking about. And then, they let Alita just, like, tick Hugo away into a church. Like, that just seemed, like, very strange to me. So, these are like very specific things, but I think one of the main issues with the movie was that they tried to cram way too much in it. And I did say that in the first video. I mean, fun, cohesive plot, good time, but they definitely could have given these characters so much more depth. And I think that things could have not seemed as rushed if they had broken this up a little bit more. to talk about characters that I wish were developed a little bit more, Grueshka, in the manga, he's heavily based off of Mamaku, and Mamaku in the manga has like a absolutely like devastating story. He is this like basically he's like, my mom flushed me down a toilet, and he like lived in like the sewers underground, and you hear him in the movie be like, this is my home, I'm from the underground, you know. And in the manga, Mamaku was like just living down there and is probably like 8 or something, and finds his way to the like a sewer gate, I guess you could say, and he's like looking up there, and he's like, oh, I want to be a part of this world. And these like kids are like, ew, look at this giant sewer rat, and they dump acid on him, and so the kid is like literally like his flesh is falling off, and they like show his like nose is gone and his arms melting, and you're just like, oh my god, like how like just like the level of cruelty and like just tragedy, your heart is breaking, you know. And then he is saved by Destinova. Destinova actually like turns him, you saw in the movie like his head was lifted up, and he was like kind of like a maggot, or like I don't know, he hit like a bug or a tadpole, even like his spine was just kind of wriggling. And in the manga, Mamaku is just like grateful to be out of the sewers, even if he's like this kind of grotesque form. And also in the manga, he eats brains, and it's like super gory and crazy. Like you're just like, he's like constantly popping people's heads off and just like eating them like a, like, I don't even know, like a fruit or something. It's like crazy. So Mamaku, I felt like was darker. Mamaku slash Grueshka, he was darker in the manga. He was just like more developed. Like you just realized that he was like killing to feel alive, which was sad. And actually Alita slays him in the manga and is like, you know, I don't feel like good about this, you know. And that was what I loved about Yukito Koshiro's story, was that it just like, things are complicated all the time. Like life is complicated. Like things aren't that easy. And I think that this movie kind of like folded up things like a little bit too nicely. Another character that I thought was underdeveloped was Hugo. Oh my God, Hugo has a great story in the manga. They did not touch on this at all in the movie, but he is so determined to go to Zalem because his older brother wanted to go to Zalem. And like his older brother and had a wife and was always talking about like making this aircraft and like just like going up to Zalem like that way. And he was an engineer for the factory, and it was like heavily outlawed to make an aircraft like this. But he ended up making an aircraft, and then the sister-in-law like rats on him, and she basically did it because she wanted his attention more. Like she wanted his love more. She felt like he loved like going to Zalem more than her. And like it's kind of like, again, like the complications that Yukito Koshiro like focuses on. It's like, whoa, first of all, extreme, like, lady, what are you doing? But then it's like, you just like feel sad for her. It's like so cringy. You're just like, man, like you were like so desperate for his love that you got him killed, you know? And it's interesting because in the manga, Alita's like, I kind of understand that. Like, it would be so hard to love someone so much and you feel like it like not be reciprocated. And I feel like Rodriguez and Cameron just like did not include that in the movie because they didn't think it looked good for her to say that. But I actually, I found it interesting. Like, you know, Alita is you know, she has a human heart. She's, well, she doesn't have a human heart, but you know what I mean? But she has, you know, these kind of internal struggles that we all do. Like, we're not perfect, you know? Like, sometimes we say or do things that are, like, have terrible consequences, you know what I mean? But I was kind of sad that they took that part out because you realize why Hugo wants to go to Zalem so badly. It kind of seems like an empty dream in the movie. And to add on to that, in the manga, he has a scar on his hand, and this is also in the anime as well. And it's because after his brother was slayed by a hunter warrior, like he sees his brother's hand in the black market, and he's like, that's my brother's hand and I want his hand. And Vector is like, okay, like, well, give him his hand, like, or like switch hands, like, we'll take the young kid's hand, like, that's better, like, we get a better price for it, whatever. And it's like kind of touching that he has like his brother's hand, you know what I mean? It's just like so determined to like pay homage to him and fulfill his dream. Also in the manga, when he turns into a cyborg, like he's has an extreme reaction. I mean, can you imagine if you were killed and then you're brought back to life and you have a cyborg body? Like, you're not gonna be like, oh, cool, this is neat. Like, you're gonna have a mental breakdown, I would think. And he does. He has a mental breakdown and he becomes like psychotic. Like, he's like, I need to get to Zalem. I need to get to Zalem, you know? And in the movie, it was just kind of like, I didn't see that desperation, and I don't think that James Cameron or Robert Rodriguez wanted him to have that desperation. And I kind of like it almost, what made me a little bit sad was that it kind of was afraid to go extreme. And I mean, that could be for PG-13 reasons. I mean, like, I have no idea. But, you know, the one thing that's so great about the manga is just like seeing people's desperation, seeing people's breaking points, seeing people's vulnerability, you know? So, I guess for me, those were kind of some of the things that bothered me. But again, like, I just wish this could be a TV show, or that there could be guaranteed more movies. I know that James Cameron has said that he wants there to be more movies, but again, that's going to completely depend on how well this movie does. I'm worried about how well this movie is going to do. Personally, I wish that they had marketed this, you know, towards kids a little bit more. Like, I mean, it's super dark story, right? But they do a good job of making like a PG-13 movie. Like, it's not like, it's got really cool action, but it's like cyborgs, dude. Like, giant cyborgs with like saws and like whips that have like, you know, like blades on the ends, and some are just like blades, and they all look super cool. And I'm just like, man, like, they should have like leaned into these like awesome looking characters. And rollerball or motorball. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm like so excited. I can't even talk. And it's also late. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, so motorball. I'm like, motorball and cyborgs. I just feel like they should have been like, this is motorball and these are cyborgs. Cause like I said, visually alone, like this movie stands alone. Like, visually, it's so good. Also, I just love Alita. I think she's so empowering. And I kind of think that it would have been cool if they were like, hey, like, moms, dads, whatever, like, this is an inspiring story for young women and women, you know, like, maybe leaned into that women empowerment a little bit more. But, you know, I mean, obviously I'm not the marketing director here, so these are my ideas, and I have no marketing experience, so like maybe I'm not one to say any of this stuff. But anyway, so I, again, overall really enjoyed this movie, and I've seen it twice now, and I honestly want to go see it again. Oh, by the way, this is like supposed to look like Alita, in case you didn't pick that up. Yeah, you probably did. I don't even know why I pointed that out to you, but okay. Anyways, moving on. I still really like the movie. Again, like, I wish that it was like a TV series, or like it had like a broken out kind of like schedule for sequels and everything. We'll see if that ends up happening. I'm concerned about how it's going to do domestically. I think the marketing has just been a little bit off, that people don't really understand what this movie's about. I voiced those concerns in the first video, but I don't know. I mean, like, it was under 50% on Rotten Tomatoes when I did my initial reaction, and now it's up to 62%. And I think critics are just super divided, because I understand why some people are like, we've seen a lot of this before. It's got some like young adult vibes, like the Hunger Games, Maze Runner, like some of those vibes. But I don't know, like, I just feel like they did a good job of doing, like, taking fun things from the anime and the manga, showing how awesome Alita is, and then just like kicking butt visually. So, okay, I think I've repeated myself 80 times. So yeah, I've really enjoyed seeing your guys' comments, just hearing people's engagement, like what they liked, what they didn't like, and I've been like trying to interact with you guys a lot. So please continue to put comments you know, underneath the video, you know where it is, yeah. And then make sure to check out some of my other videos. You can take a look if this is just popping up and you didn't see my original video, my initial reaction to seeing Alita Battle Angel, and I have a bunch of other movie stuff and anime and manga stuff, so make sure to check that out as well. All right, see ya. Oh my God, a 15-minute video? Sorry, y'all.